Hey everyone. So today's a fun topic. It's one of my favorite verses, as many of these are. And so it's exciting to see what God's doing. I'm glad everyone can be here. Our Monday morning live streams are about the vision of the ministry and about the vision that we have for Follower of One. And I'm not the only person with this vision. I think it's really exciting how God is waking more and more of us up to this calling that we have to be difference makers where we work. And so our topic for today is to start with grace, to begin with grace. We're talking about equipping and encouraging others all month in Follower of One. And by starting with grace, we're to be grace distributors. I've told this story before. I have this vision of us being warehouses for the grace of God. God gives us his grace, like he gave them 5 loaves and 2 fish, and he expects us to distribute his grace. And as we do, it multiplies. And he calls all of us to do that. I think we're all challenged to be those kinds of people who live out our faith, that we're shipping this grace all the time. We're not worried about the supply. I personally worry about it. I constantly think, am I going to have enough money or enough time or enough resources? But God reminds us that he's in charge. Just the story of the 5 loaves and 2 fish is a great example. When they say, what are we going to do about all this food? Jesus tells them to give the people who are there something to eat. And he challenges them to start walking as if they had whatever they needed. That's the challenge I experience as well. We're talking about equipping and encouraging others and starting with grace. And our passage is Colossians 3:12. And the verse is, as those who have been chosen of God, holy and beloved, put on a heart of compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. That's the way we should look in the world. Jesus calls us to being people who put on a heart of compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. I looked at a bunch of different translations this morning as I was thinking about this passage. Those words are pretty consistent. The word translated gentleness means power under control. In older translations, it's translated meekness, but more of the modern translations don't use the word meek simply because it's misunderstood. Colossians chapter 3 is this great chapter about how we live out our faith. And this is a clear verse. Compassion, caring for other people. Kindness, again, being kind, being gentle. Gentleness is power under control, like we talked about. Compassion, kindness. Humility is something that I think is foreign to me and foreign to all of us. We draw the world with ourselves in the center. And I struggle with this a lot. It's so easy for us to remember that God is in control, and it takes us off the throne of our lives. And so we have this idea where we should be challenged to be people who are humble. We have this understanding of where we fit in the world. Compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, like I said, is power under control, or meekness sometimes in the older translations. That's the way it's translated. And patience, which is another one of those things I just don't have. I'm constantly trying to do things faster. I'm constantly trying to hurry things. Compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. It goes on in that passage to talk about how we are to bear with one another. And I didn't include that verse in there, bearing with one another and taking other people and considering them more important than ourselves. And then it goes on to say, beyond all these things, put on love, which is the perfect bond of unity. The phrase used put on is used in both of these verses. And that is about putting on like clothes. Because we are children of God, we wear compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, patience, and love. Beyond all these things, this is all love. We're putting on love. And as you've also heard me say before, it's so easy for me to focus on myself, and that's inherently not loving. When I consider other people more important than myself, that's loving. And we've been given this opportunity to go into our workplaces today and love people and make them first. Compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, patience, and love. We are to put on these things. In my belief, they're all fit in the category of grace. These are things that we deliver that are given to us by God. God gives us these things not so that we would hoard them, but so that we would ship them. Our job is to distribute them. The fish and the bread were multiplied when they were divided and given away. And that's what we're supposed to do, is take the very things that God has given us and give them away. Like I say, full disclosure is convicting to me because I don't do it very well. But let's get better at it. In fact, my dream and my vision for Follower of One is that we would be a people who are out there shipping the grace of God into the very sphere of influence that we have. I talk to a lot of people in the faith world, and many of us think that the things that we do that don't lead other people directly to Jesus don't count as much as the things that we do that lead people to Jesus. But I submit that this passage actually shows us that what we are called to do is be people who are walking around clothed in compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, patience, and love. And that puts us in the category of being in service to our King. So that's our uniform today. Compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, patience, and love. Let's put those things on and go ship that grace that God gives us into the world. It may be our time. It may be our money. It may be our energy. It may be our attitude. We have several things that have been given to us by God that we can ship into the world, and He will replenish them. You know, after they fed the 5,000, there were 12 baskets of leftovers. Jesus made sure that every disciple had a basket of food to carry away. You think about that. We've been given more than enough grace to ship into our world today and have leftovers. That's our calling, to equip and encourage other people by shipping the grace of God into the people that you meet today. We are blessed. You've been given the opportunity to interact with people today and be a blessing to them. Imagine a day when Christians all over the globe are these beacons of places where you can go get more grace. Wouldn't it be great if there was a sign on the business, like being a safe place, except that this is a grace place? I want to have a grace place for a business. I want to be a grace distributor. That goes back to my kind of crazy thought process. I was in the warehousing business. But if my job today is to ship all the grace I can find, and so that's what I hope we will do today. I'm grateful that you're a marketplace minister. Marketplace ministry to me is nothing but shipping grace into the world, being distributors, putting on our uniform. I'm sorry I fell behind on the chat. I'm now seeing some of the comments in the chat. Thank you all so much. I'm grateful for you. But let's be the people who are shipping this grace into the world. God has a job for us. And so there is grace, and we are the distributors of it. And thanks, Rick, for your comments, and thanks everyone else for your comments. But that's what we ought to be doing. We should be making sure that these shipments of grace are getting to their destination, that they're glorifying God because they're being shipped to people that we interact with every day. God has put us in this position. He's clothed us and equipped us. He's given us these things that we can then go distribute. To me, I love that. I'm scored based on what I ship. I want the warehouse to be empty every night when I go to bed. Let's get it all shipped and then let Jesus fill the place back up and use us again tomorrow. Isn't that a cool picture? He has a calling for us, every one of us. And let's measure what we ship, not what we receive. We don't need to count the conversations we have with people who don't know Jesus. This is not about trying to choose the right places to be and the right things to do. This is about stepping into whatever our situation is, clothed in compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, patience, and love. We just step into those situations and ship all the grace we can. The Lord Jesus has this, and he's established us as these grace distributors. And it's all because of Jesus. That's exactly right, Rick. We are the distribution system, and it's all about him and his grace. Let's ship it. So thank you for being marketplace ministers. Thank you for considering how, just from this one passage in Colossians, that we can get our marching orders for today. We go into the world compassionately, kind, humbly, gently, and patiently, and love people. And we are shipping God's grace into our world. And so that's our job today, is to be those distributors. I am excited. I'm grateful. We've been given this great opportunity to do this together, and I'm blessed because you have joined us in this effort. And I'm excited to see what God will do with it. He's in charge. This is all his idea, and he's got this under control. Let's us remember that our job is to just simply help the other people around us move one notch closer to Jesus. That's ministry. We're all full-time ministers. We don't have to quit our jobs to become a minister. Jesus has a job for us to do today, and we get to walk in that. We are blessed. And remember that whatever we do, because we follow Jesus, will matter forever. That's another thing that's cool about all this. So I'm very excited to be in this community, challenged to go love people today because I'm a Christ follower. Thank you for being a part of this and for reminding and challenging me as well. God's mercies are new each day, and we can ship some off to others and go back tomorrow for more. That's exactly right, Rick. And Jesus will fill our order and we'll have more to ship. We have a meet follower of one tomorrow. We're meeting Dion Germain, and I'm looking forward to meeting her. I haven't interacted with her, so this will be a fun conversation where we discover a new member. If you haven't done a meet follower of one, please reach out to Chris Castro and get on the schedule. I want to promote all the different grace distribution points that Jesus has put in on our map that he's shown us, right? Our job is to encourage you and to encourage you to be a grace distributor. And so we want to help other people know about the grace distribution that's taking place. Noreen's joining from Pakistan. That would be great. Thank you, Noreen, for doing this. I'm excited about how God's working. We're not bound by geography. We use the internet and we use the technology that's available to us. And so Jesus is cool in that regard too, is that he provides. All we have to do is look for a way to do this. Instead of concentrating on the obstacles that we face, let's concentrate on the opportunities that we get. We know that the grace that we have is supposed to be shipped. It's probably a lot like manna. Let's not hang on to it until it spoils. Let's get it out of here. I want to ship mine today. I hope you do too. So thanks everyone for being marketplace ministers. Thank you for considering how your faith can make a difference in the life of someone today. God has given us grace that he wants us to distribute into the world. And so we get the opportunity to do it. And we get a chance again tomorrow, even if we screw up. So thanks so much for being Marketplace Ministers. Thanks for considering how your faith can matter forever. What we do because we follow Jesus matters forever. And so thanks for being a Marketplace Minister and for being part of this community. I'm really excited that you've joined us and that you're helping fuel this effort. We fuel each other and we make this happen. Thanks very much.